You were born in 1,901 inches a narrow alley filled with poverty, never imagining that one day the entire city would know your name with fear. Your father worked as a dock laborer. Your mother sewed clothes late into the night. And from an early age, you learned that poor people could only survive by working endlessly. When you were 8 years old, a man in a black suit offered you a job delivering packages, paying far more than any other work a child your age could find. You never asked what was inside the packages, because the money you brought home mattered far more than your curiosity. The more often you worked, the more well-dressed men began recognizing your face and trusting you with increasingly dangerous assignments. By the time you turned 12, you finally discovered that they were not ordinary businessmen, but members of a mafia family that controlled the entire neighborhood where you lived. In that neighborhood, the police rarely dared to enter, and when they did, they often left carrying envelopes thicker than the law books they were supposed to enforce. Because you were always on time and never revealed a single secret, you were promoted to guard the warehouse where liquor, cash, and various smuggled goods were stored. There, you learned that mistakes could be forgiven, but betrayal always ended with someone disappearing without a trace. At the age of 18, you were handed a pistol for the first time and trusted to protect a major deal between your family and another smuggling organization. Not a single shot was fired that day, but you realized your life had crossed into a world with no way back. Then came 1920, when America introduced Prohibition and outlawed the production and sale of alcohol across the nation. Instead of stopping people from drinking, the ban only made alcohol more desirable, turning every bottle into something worth several times its previous value. Your Mafia family moved faster than the government, building a smuggling network that stretched across nearly the entire city. Every night, trucks loaded with liquor rolled through back streets, while police officers who had already been paid pretended to see nothing. But not everyone could be bought, and those who refused bribes became the greatest threat to the entire operation. Another problem came from rival mafia families determined to seize the city's most profitable distribution routes. Warehouses were set on fire, trucks were hijacked, and gunfights became an increasingly common sound in the middle of the night. You were trusted to lead a group responsible for protecting every shipment while making sure no spies managed to infiltrate your organization. The more successful your operations became, the more confidence the boss placed in you, until your name became well known throughout the underworld. Owners of restaurants, casinos, and nightclubs quietly paid protection money to keep their businesses safe from rival organizations. Money poured in so rapidly that you could finally afford expensive suits, luxury cars, and the house you had once only dreamed of owning. But the higher your position rose, the fewer people you could truly trust. In the mafia world, a smile could be the beginning of betrayal, and a friendly dinner could turn into a war within seconds. Your fears became reality when one of your most trusted men sold information to another mafia family in exchange for more money. As a result, several warehouses were attacked, smuggling routes fell into enemy hands, and many of your men never returned home. From that day forward, you completely reorganized the operation so that no single person knew every plan at once. That strategy allowed your family to recover and slowly reclaim the territory it had lost. By the time you approached 30, you were no longer the one taking orders, because now you were the one giving them. The moment you spoke, dozens of men moved without questioning your reasons or the risks involved. Your influence soon reached city officials, powerful businessmen, and even certain law enforcement officers who secretly worked for your organization. Even while surrounded by luxury, you still slept with a pistol beside your bed because your enemies could come at any moment. Every police siren put you on alert, every unfamiliar face made you suspicious, and every meeting could be your last. In the quiet moments, you still remembered the tiny house where your father came home with hands covered in wounds and your mother sewed until her eyes could barely stay open. Your journey to the top of the mafia world had truly begun with one simple goal: helping your family survive. But the path you chose slowly transformed you into someone who was feared far more than respected. Now the entire city no longer remembers you as the dockworker's son who grew up in poverty. They remember you as one of the most dangerous mafia bosses ever to rule the streets of America in the early 20th century.